Testing, testing, 1, 2, 3. Close that. Fuck. Okay, now there's feedback. Great. Okay. Damn. Okay. Huh. That's what those emotes are for. Great place to put them. Okay. I am... I'm gonna start here. Link. Skynet, trainee. There we go. There we go. YouTube. Keypad is okay, and I am going to. Oh, it's been so long since I used OBS. There we go. So that should be on the screen, and oh boy, that is bright. Kind of wish I had a dark mode set up for this. Hi, Hans, how are you? Anyone else here? Good coffee. Hello, Zombex. I cannot remember your actual name. And Kwanzi thought that the video was a song. Samia. Hi there. Great. And oh. So how is everyone this evening? And I think probably hey Samia. Wait, why is your one moving around it? Is it just your profile picture? Huh. Anyway, you all ready? Aside from it being blindingly white. So, kind of wish I had a smaller. Yeah, I've got this big, really big screen that is just probably too big for me for when I'm streaming, because I have content up above me here, and then my stuff is off to the side. It is not that great. So display there, chat there, Discord there, and it's probably should. Okay, anyways, so the goal of this is to there we go. The goal of this is just to give a good overview of Linux, Nix and NixOS. Some of you will have experience in Linux, and I don't expect anyone to have experience in Nix or NixOS. Can you hear me fine? So, to start with Linux. Linux basically everywhere. Who here has experience in Linux? If you want, I could probably pop into the voice chat in the Discord if anyone wanted to talk. I'm pretty sure that won't pop up on the audio. If that would suit anyone. Okay. Yeah, so I'm gonna pop into the voice chat there in general if anyone wants to talk. Shouldn't show up in the video. So basic commands of it are cd change directory, make directory, make do, ls list directory, touch file name, which basically means you can create a file name, and nano file name. I like nano. I know there's at least one person here who likes Vim, looking at no one in particular, but I like nano. It's nice, it's simple, it just works. Can you say something, Hans, just in case? Oh, you're on voice text chat. What do you mean it's all push to talk? Yeah, Vim. And history is really useful. It is... Oh, did I pick up the permissions for the voice chat? Probably did. Okay. Yeah, you should be able to speak now better. Shifted permissions around. So history allows you to view the previous commands. Very useful for checking up what was previously done on something. I used it a lot this past year to find out what was actually on systems. grep is really useful for finding stuff. You find something in a file or something. And a basic principle of Linux is that you can pipe commands to each other. So you can have a call it. You can have say history there. Linux files for your link there whenever you go into it, and combine things together to make stuff powerful. Our command. Yeah. So history prints out the history of command history. But if you pipe it into grep and search for nano, it will tell you of every time nano popped up on a line. Really useful if you know what you're searching for. Same with everything else. You can use it with change directory or ls. Well, I'm not sure how you use it with change directory. It goes really well ls, and especially if you go recursive on that. And then the key part for Skynet is Nix. Nix is a lazy functional language. Who here is with Connor Ryan this year? I'd imagine a couple of you are. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, this is probably too slow to ask for questions fast enough. So Connor Vine, really good guy. Hopefully you have him. With him, you'll be doing racket, which is really useful. Hello, Hank. I think that's Hank. Yeah. How are you doing? Um, with him, you'll be doing racket, which is a functional language that is lazy. Oh, is it not? Oh, not me. Oh yeah, you don't have Connor and you're in second year and electronic engineering, so no, yeah. Yeah. Either way, these are the types of variables, so you can have integers, floats, parts, strings, and booleans. Parts are literally that. They're not a string, it's those, and basically they're file paths. Yeah. Hi Hank. You can do functions like this, which is so this is the function ufec. So function name, parameter in is the x, and then what you do with it gets returned here. So this is literally just doubling whatever you put into it. So double to an output form. No characters. It's not a language for compiling a program. It's more of a language to get stuff done. Think more like Python, essentially. It's kind of like Bash in that it can be used to automate stuff. So you don't need the full everything. You pass in two parameters like this, so A and B, and then you do whatever you want with them. Any questions on functions? Okay. Hans, are you able to speak in the voice chat now? If you want to try. Should have fixed the permissions on that. Connect speak, voice activity. Yeah, because it'll probably just make questions a lot faster. Shut down? Yeah, you can use this shutdown stuff. Hello, great, you can speak. So yeah, if anyone wants to ask questions, pop into the voice chat in Discord and be a lot faster. Okay. Okay, I'm gonna share my screen then. Screen. There we go. So if you want to do it, you can probably mute the YouTube. I'm not sure if questions will go into the recording, but I'll summarize them. So what is on screen now is what's called a fuck. No, it just slipped my mind. Feck. Not a closure. Basically, this is how you group data together, essentially. So inside, what the fuck is? Don't you hate it when words just slip away from you? Yeah. So. Oh, it's a set. It's a set. That's what it is. Yeah, we're back to sets, folks. Yeah, a set. Never leave sets. Yeah, so you can access the different values in the set by going dot foo, for example, will output bar. Really useful because, and then I've got links to the official guide, which is reasonable enough, which is this. Oh, nice dark mode. Yeah, better than the blinding white thing I have now. And Nix Peons is it's kind of like when you take the blue or red pill, except for Nix, when you really go down the rabbit hole. So neither. Yep. Yeah, so this has almost everything that you kind of need to know about Nix. Um, the official side has got only theoretical stuff that's useful, but Peons has got the better things in it. And that brings us on to NixOS. And NixOS is basically some crazy person thought, hey, I like Nix, let's make an entire operating system out of that. What could go wrong? And remember how I said earlier that Nix is a functional language in that it's purely functional, as in functional paradigm. That means that whatever you put into it, did I have it back here? Oh yeah, I forgot that you mentioned it. So whatever you put into a function in Nix, it will always be the same output. There is no state to manage. It's not like Java in that there is hidden mutable state. So you can be pretty sure that what you put in, as long as it remains the same, you will get the same output. And for us, the advantages of Nix is its configuration as code, deterministic and reproducible. These last two go hand in hand. Config as code is, well, you've seen it here on you've seen it here on the NixOS here. This is the entire configuration for Skynet. Everything is there. Nothing is left out. So having it there has advantage compared to what we previously had. Back in January, when I was digging through servers to find out what the configuration was, I had to guess where stuff was. I had to try and figure out, using that history command I showed earlier, what was running, where the config file was, is that the active config file, etc, etc, etc. Not always great if you are on a deadline and know that everything's going to be wiped once you're done with it, so you kind of have to be sure. I do not recommend. So Skynet 2.0, which we're calling Skynet before January this year, yes, but there was also I'm not making up the 2.0 part, because that was coined a few years back for the Skynet at the time, because it had a complete makeover. Why does that give you anxiety in relation to Docker and Kubernetes? Oh yeah, that is hell. Tracing. Oh, I thought you were seeing it as a bad thing. So yeah, fully source controlled, deterministic and reproducible go hand in hand. Deterministic is same inputs, you get same outputs. Um, 2 by 2 will always be 4, and that won't change unless you change the input and it's a 3 by 2, and that would be 6. Oh dear, no. No, not the Caden. And reproducible is another thing that is really, really useful in software development. It means that if there's a binary, for example, you can recreate it exactly to prove that it has not been tampered with. So, you know, all those exe files that you download from random places? How do you know that they haven't been tampered with? You don't. You trust the people there, right? But if you really wanted to check, and if it's open source, you can go, I'm gonna make that. And so you go about and you burn the program or whatnot, and if it's a C program, you tear your hair out a couple of times and wonder why anyone would do that. Oh yeah, see and go would be, see ya, gotta go. Wait, are they using YAML as a programming language in your place? Because I know some places do that. Oh yeah, but some places actually use YAML as a programming language, not a templating language. Be glad. Oh. So yeah, we use Flix in NixOS, and the reason why is because if we go in here, you see the flake.nix? This has the inputs. You can see we're literally defining what our inputs are, the dependencies essentially, and it has outputs. And outputs is a tad more complicated, but there's a couple of things of note. There's a formatter, there is a dev shell, which is for development. It has all the tunes needed to do shit. And it also has Comina, I think that's how you pronounce it, which is actually used to deploy everything. Hi Pine, how are you? Oh, hi JJ. And the idea behind this is that, where is it? This is the formatter, and it's defined and used within itself. However, and what you may not know is that there is a computer society in DCU called Red Brick, and let's see, Red Brick. Very nice folks. Red Brick, they have really good docs. Where are the docs? Yeah, we can probably pull up a few ideas from them actually. Though it looks like they haven't done stuff in a while. Where are the docs? Back. Anyway, they used to use NixOS, but they were using kind of like an older version of it that didn't have a flake. And so, you see these big long things here of last modified, null hash, owner, repo, revision, and type, GitHub. On this, you would have to manually define it. So changing any dependency was a fucking pain in the ass. There is no two ways about it. Yeah, it's not useful. Hi Milan, good to see you here as well. No. Well, this is kind of dependency here, but also look how long this is. This is what? Yeah, about 1,000 lines long. you can see that utilities is imported what 9 times, because each dependency can have its own utilities and whatnot. So uh, I'd say that brings up another thing. See how there's so many utilities imported? There's 9. Well, it just so happens that there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 inputs here that would have utilities. Each of these has their own dependencies that it manages, and they don't conflict with each other at all. That's something that you don't get easily anywhere else. Yeah, I'm going off on a tangent here, Ted. But you know how Python, if you've got Python in your computer, say 3.11, all programs that use Python on your computer will use 3.11. All of them. Because that's what you got installed, they will all use the exact same version of Python, because it's globally installed. What? Yeah. In Python, it's globally installed, so any program on your computer that uses Python will use the globally installed one. With Nix and NixOS, every item manages its own dependencies. So if one thing wants a Python 3.11.a, B, C, or whatnot, whatever the patch version is, and another wants a slightly different version, they can each get their own thing. They don't conflict with each other. It means that if you update Python, you don't break anything else on your computer. Yeah, the same with every other dependency. It's so I don't have any good example in this selection here, but on my own personal server, can I bring up? Yeah, I'm gonna bring it up my own one here. So I have a server, and that I have a pile of things running on, and oh, I forgot I had that. Disappointed. And so where is it? I have a lot of own stuff. So this particular program is a Node.js one. I think it's 15 or so, or less, maybe 12 or 14. But the one beside it, this one is an even older Node.js version, and they both coexist very nicely. And of course, this probably makes no sense to you in the slightest. But who's that one person? Anyway, so back to this. So, which adds the log file, which reduces hassle for the dev. There is one single command that you use to update, which is you'll be pleased to know that I am going to my IDE here, so things should be a bit easier to see. So, no longer blinding. So, yeah, on the apologies for this, I am going here. So on the GitLab, there are instructions in the README on how to install Nix, which is here. These commands use a particular operating system. You can use WSL2, or what's actually more? So Linux and Windows, it uses Linux at its core. The other one is you need to enable flakes. So which one is it for? Just Nix. Where is it? Yes, I'm tired. Uh, uh, uh. Oh, yes. So this is the line here. So add the following to home.config nixconf or that, and it's just this here. And you will enable flakes once you've got Nix installed. Then once you've got that done, you can do Nix develop, which if I do it here, that's the presentations. Fuck, I am. Why do I close? I need more coffee. Then I would end up like you. Ooh, congrats. So on my desktop I use WSL, and if I go Nix develop, it evaluates the flake here and pulls down everything that it needs. And actually, for comparison, WSL, if I try to run Comina here, Comina build, command not found, that's in just normal WSL. But if I go to the dev shell, which is after you run Nix develop, and go Comina build, it pops up. Ooh, yeah, there's something there. So the dev shell is really useful for just having all your dev dependencies easily accessible and fixed. This is probably more useful to you, Milan, if you are doing, what framework you're using for your site? Do you Angular? Yeah, so in your case, you'll probably want to add a Nix flake to your project, and you can set up the dev shell. I think there's a few tutorials online how to set up Angular and NixOS, and the end result would be like the presentations here, because in the flake for the presentations there is Nix run and Nix build options, and the build is the packages, and it just builds it using the dependencies up here. I'm going back to you again on that. I'm going to use you as a guinea pig, template example for others to follow. But oh, always, yes. Yeah, well, it's not because of me you'd be dying. Yeah, outside of my control. Probably. Yeah, so any questions? I've probably rambled on a tad too much. Yes, it's on the YouTube. Yeah, it's the downside of being on the Discord. I'm doing on both. Yeah, probably. Not sure why you would want to. Only configs. Oh, oh, other stuff that is interesting for you since I've got a captive. All the secrets are in the repo itself. So if you go to the secrets font, you'll find quite a different .age files. And at its core will be this file here, which defines who can access, which servers can access, and what files are encoded with what, because these are encrypted. Oh yeah, except for the fact that if you try and open it up, it looks like this. This is what the file looks like when you try to open it up as a text file. Yep. I'm not sure how useful that is, but I think, yeah, these are all the SSH keys that can unlock it, I think. Yeah. They're used in the pipelines that I've got set up. So, as a rough overview, whenever you commit to any repo that goes into Skynet, and push the main, it's gonna start another job running on the NixOS pipelines that's gonna build and deploy automatically or automagically. Yeah, the automagic part is kind of important because I'm a lazy fucker and I don't have time nor sanity to log into everything. Although, you see this command here that I did, Comina build, if I change it to apply, then things get fun. Because that's, oh wait, I'm not actually, no, actually, no. There's only one that can actually apply. I'm not currently on the VPN for UL. So I can't actually apply to all. But I, proxies? In what way? That's tempting. So yeah, I just ran Comina apply on Skynet. The reason why I can do this and not the others is because the Skynet server is on a different network range than the rest. It's isolated from the main cluster. So it's done by ITD that way, and it's for good reason, because last time it was a Skynet server that decided to spam everyone. Yeah. Our lack of intelligence. It got destroyed. I demolished it, formatted it. Oh, you've got no idea. So yeah, anyway, the Comena apply on Skynet built and deployed to Skynet. That's how easy it is to manually deploy now. Assuming you've got access to the servers and VPN access and all that jazz. Anything else of note? This is actually the config file that I've set up. It's basically just listing who's the admin and who's on committee. Don't move that. With the key rough idea of these values can be used in a couple different places. So they're defined here, and this is probably a far deeper dive than I planned to go into, but they are used in two places. They're used in the email configuration. That's another topic I'll be talking about more in depth later, because email is fucking complex. And it's used here to, where is it? Oh, yes. It's up further. So I get the configs, and because this is an array, and I pass it into this function here. This is the function up here. And so the accounts array comes in here, and I'm using map to return a new array of strings that's the username at Skynet.ie. So in my case it'd be server at Skynet.ie, for example. And then if I go down here, what I was doing earlier was setting up aliases. So mail from that goes to abuse at Skynet.ie will go to the internal abuse inbox, and also the people listed in the admin section of users. So that would be me, Owen, and Evan. So we have to move right. So yeah, me, Evan, Owen. Nope. Yeah. Was it? It was you, Dara, that did the patch earlier to actually pop in Vim, right? Yeah, I think it was you. So, oh yeah, that's another thing. Anyone, if you want to work on improved stuff as it is, fork the repo and do your changes, do a merge request, and it can be merged in. Anyone in the society can do that if they want. Like, it's not locked off or anything. It's one of the joys of open source is that you can get people to look at things and do things without becoming fully invested. Yeah. So uh, um so kind of this was not in place for what Dara did, but now there is a job that checks the formatting. And remember how I mentioned that there was a format task format command earlier? Oh no, not that one. Remember how I said that there was a format command? Well, now that runs in the linter, and it just double checks to make sure that everything is formatted properly. So in Dara's case, the formatting was fucked up, but it wasn't enforced at the time, so there was no harm there. Oop, that's too bad. Yep. The pipeline just checks, and if it's not formatted, it stops the pipeline. It's just a lot harder to do it. So if I actually go up one level to pipelines, and 1 minute ago, who merged that in? Oh, Evan. Oh, it depends. So this is a typical pipeline. There are multiple stages. There is the testing stage. Actually, I need to go to a slightly different one to actually this one. So this is, oh yeah, so this ran for almost 8 minutes. but there were multiple jobs in it. So see this task here, update. Evan updated a dependency, and so the lock file had to be updated. So this entire command here is just updating the lock file. You can see updated input Skynet website, and it's going from there to there. Oh, he updated it twice today. Yeah. And then it actually has to push that change into the repo itself and continue on the pipeline, which is a bloody pain in the ass. So the pipeline has to pull down any updates between that last one and this one. And if we had more runners, like multiple GitLab runners, so you could have jobs running in parallel, that could fuck up things. So yeah, it is possible to update stuff in pipeline, but it's also more complex. And considering it is something that is good for people to learn, to run a linter command, and it's just a tiny command. Like, all you have to do to run it is Nix fmt, and then it will do the rest for you. Yeah, it's an opinionated one, so there's no configuration or whatnot for it. So so yeah, pipelines run. I've tried to have everything as automated as possible because there used to be like 5 different admins for Skynet. There was a database one, there was a website one, there was an email one, there was an NDAP admin, and then there was the senior systems administrator, which is now my role, which is fantastic on CV. But automation can do away with a lot of the hassle and finagliness of it. Yeah. So, oh yeah. Out of curiosity, would people prefer like this color background for slides? Because the white can be a bit harsh on the eyes. Yeah. Well, it's in my case, it's more that it's something that is nice enough to read and also can be shown on a projector, because dark mode stuff cannot be shown nicely in a projector. It's just easier to cover all bases easier. So just to give a quick overview, this is the one that we just had. I'm put a link to the video beside it. DNS is one thing that will definitely be covered, because if I go into the DNS file here, this is a big fucking long file. It is 400 or so lines long. But this automates away a lot of the DNS thing. So there's a bit of explaining about that, about DNS in general. The NDAP is another interesting topic that you may not actually come across in a home lab. Not quite. Not a protocol. Basically it's a really old-fashioned database for user data. So you know how you create a Skynet account? All that data is stored in our NDAP server. It basically lists, can I bring up my one there? I should have it open. Fuck. 1 second, the connection may dip out slightly. Apologies. I'm going on the VPN to UL right now. Great. This here is my oh, I think I may have great. No, I was just looking at the studio feed for the YouTube. So this has, yeah, it's the joys of going on the VPN and back again. So this is my account essentially. You can see that this is the path you get to it. It's in this Skynet.ie data cluster. I'm not sure what DC is. Then it's in users, and then inside users there's me. Yeah, that won't come out, see. So this has all the information about me. It has CN, which is first name surname, which is Brendan Gordon. GeoID number, which is the group ID number. I'm probably going more detail in this probably another time, but yeah, you can see that it has home directory, surname, UID, which is server, UID number, which is a different thing. It has my actual student ID number because that's really useful to identify people when they graduate. Well, it's more to recover. No enums in this. This is too old for enums. And then there is the groups that I'm a member of, so admins, committee, and users. Also has my Discord, but that's going away. It was a temporary experiment. But you can see that this is how information can be kept in NDAP. Email, to go back to the list, email is another topic that is surprisingly big. There's a lot to cover in it because email is complex. It seems easy and it should be easy, but it's more complicated than it. Well, it's difficult because it was so open. Anyone could start an email server and they were not obligated to be authenticated in it. You could say you were anyone and send email. Nope. That's how it used to work. Yeah, kind of security stuff came in. Yep, you can probably see how that's a bad thing. Then there'll be Proxmox, VMs, and Linux containers. Linux containers are really fun. Yeah, SFP, DKM, there's a part of that stuff, and there is, and circling back round to that in a little bit, because there's actually something about that someone can take if you want. And then I'm talking about databases a little bit. The database that I use a lot in my stuff is SQLite, which is a single file database that's surprisingly performant. Anyone in second year, which I don't think there's anyone here, second year computer science will be doing databases, and that's MySQL, and that's a slightly different flavor than SQLite. Can do a lot of the same stuff, but there's a few slight changes. Yeah, Hans? Okay. Hans, just to clarify, you do know that I made my entire own spreadsheet slide format here, just to avoid having to do Microsoft PowerPoint. Uh, Interesting thing about PowerPoint and any Word stuff, it's a zip file. Yeah, yeah. Um, actually, you know, last year with the graphics module Milan and Hans, you know how that very first PowerPoint they gave was massive in size? Like, I think it was 50, I think it was a gig or so. Yeah, I went in and extracted the pictures from it and just removed them, um, because it was easier to do that than to actually delete them from inside the file. I can't remember why I did that. It was fun though. Um, so I said I was going to circle around and about the email stuff. There are issues on the NixOS repo, and issues are not really issues or problems, it's more things to be done. And anything that's assigned with trainee is something that should be reasonably easy for folks to pick up on and do. And one of those things is the activate DMARC policy and set return report address. Evan created it about 2 weeks ago, and there's a link to the policy. So if anyone wants to take that up, um, feel free to do so. So just fork the repo, do your changes, and then do a merge request. Yeah, if you need help, you can ping either me, Owen, or Darren knows how to do it as well. Yeah, I'll come back to that in a second. And the other thing is, I've got this task with backups. If you, oh yeah, I forgot. There is one of the, I'm gonna bring you all into it. 20. Yeah, I kind of forgot to import you all into it. There's a lot of forum threads that we've opened up over time that have just a lot of data in them. And so yeah, feel free to explore any of them. I don't think I've got passwords or login details in any of them, so they're safe. Because it's just easier to break things out, and these were mostly before the GitLab was there. So anyway, backups. There's a couple of things that need backups. 3 out of the 4 here should be relatively easy. The GitLab one is maybe a tad more complex, but if anyone wants to go for that, feel free to go for that. Oh yes, the thing you wanted to know about Docker in here. So games, yeah, it's in games. So you know that we've got Minecraft. We do. Though we actually kind of do need an admin for our own servers. Great. A nice one too. So, well, I kind of helped make sure you didn't burn the place down. Yeah, I know. My sanity is still recovering. Anyway, so in the Minecraft one, there is things that look kind of like a Docker Compose, but in NixOS. We use a tool called Arion, A-R-I-O-N, I'm not sure how you pronounce it, and everything is defined. So this is like one Docker compose file here, all of this. So you can see that the proxy, the config service, they're both defined together. They both have the image, environment, volumes, and ports defined. This one has got a command to run, and that's basically it. This uses Docker in the back end. It can also use Podman, but it just wouldn't work nicely with Podman for me. And the advantage that Podman has is it's non-root. Docker runs as ID0, which is root. So if you manage to break out of a Docker container, you can do a lot of damage. Some of the stuff I'm doing at work is cursed inherently because it uses that property of Docker to be able to, from inside the Docker container, modify the host machine. It is fun. Yeah, you can modify your host machine from inside a Docker container. Yeah. That's strange. Yeah. Another thing is that if someone wants, there's a lovely Discord bot called Yappy. Um, Yappy is fantastic. It kind of just gives you a notification in Docker in Discord when something updates. Really useful if you want to just keep an eye on stuff instead of going to email. Any questions then? Why not? I'm not great on inventive idea stuff. I'm better at figuring out solutions to problems, but you can, but it has to be packaged up properly. Okay, to roughly show, this is the API that runs the NDAP integration, because working with NDAP is a fucking pain in the ass. So this is a small little API to go in between the account.skynet.ie and the NDAP. And it uses Rust, and it is packaged up. It has all the environmental variables being passed into it. It has the services being started, systemd. If you don't like systemd, then I would advise you just learn to love it, because it's actually quite useful. We don't use cron, instead we use timeless, systemd timeless. Kind of more powerful than cron, but it's also useful. Then there's a pilot config, blah blah blah, and where is the actual building it? So yes, so this here is what used to build the project. This is a Rust project, so it has its own library to build Rust projects. Other languages have their own stuff, and it's simply setting the name of the package, the inputs, and the root directory. Another thing, in case you're wondering, a good format to lay stuff out is to have all your configuration files at the root, and then have your code in source folder. Things tend to work better that way, cleaner for everyone involved. Why did I go on that tangent? Okay, so say for example on the back end here, this has its own tests. I'm probably cover this more at the pipeline stage, but so in the Rust one there are three stages. There's lint, there's build and deploy. Lint has Clippy, which checks if you're following Clippy's recommendations. It's got a formatter just to check, and those two run on time, and then it builds it. Normally in Rust is that if you can build it, it will run, because Rust favors correctness over anything else. You know what we did with Michael English and correctness? It's that. So once it builds, you're pretty certain that it will run near flawlessly, and then it sends it off to the NixOS pipeline, and then then the entire NixOS config is built there, and then it's deployed. And the thing about deploying is that it normally doesn't stop the previous iteration of it. Sometimes it does. I can't remember when. There's few rules about that. But at each stage there are a couple of steps where things are checked. Mostly build stages. If that makes sense to you. Oh, are you talking about stuff like the backend or the NixOS itself? Yeah. So NixOS, remember how I did the Comina build earlier? That's gonna build it all. It's gonna take in all the inputs and try and build the everything. And you can see it's running for 12 nodes, and each node is a server. So Agent Jones, Vendetta, Vigil, all of these are different nodes essentially, including the last one is Earth. All of them are AI for good reasons, and once it's able to build it without any issue, then it's reasonably good then. Like it may still fail later on, but there's no problems in the Nix side of things. Yeah, if you improve them. Ha 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 ha. Oh, that is another really good thing. The pipeline is Nix itself. It runs on Nix, literally runs on Nix. And so there are no issues with dependencies, or shouldn't be any issues with dependencies. So, yep. Think of like Docker as a very slimmed down version of what it could have been. Yeah. Probably go into it a tad more when we come to the that's really white, the LXC Linux containers, because those are basically, you could see them as big Docker things, but the reality is that Docker was split off from them ages ago for single application use. Oh yeah, a fuck ton better than Docker. So much better. They're also so performant. You can literally reboot these and boom, an instant. If there's anything not on this list, that you think could be on the list, please tell me. The last, because I've covered a lot the past year and I've forgotten a lot of stuff that goes into it probably. So, any other questions? Here are my only configs. Here you can find them. No, it doesn't. Kind of. The best one is going to be the new backup server. It's the one that I pulled out 2 weeks ago now, when that Skynet sign up went really, really well. The things that were tossed out were the desktops, like really, really old desktops. All the servers are still there, though many of them, some of them may be owned as you. Please do not stand by the window. Okay. So, on kind of going back to it, this is more broader, but does anyone want to take a look at website stuff, game server stuff, or like begin to kind of take responsibility of? Because you've seen my graphic design and UI stuff, and we kind of need an admin for the main Skynet site. Oh, that's where it changed. Yeah, it used to be red. But yeah, I kind of need someone to take charge of at least the main site, because I'm crap at that. Yeah, to manage, maintain, whatnot, keep things up to date. Oh yeah, it is. Uh, Again, everything is up on the GitLab. Um, I'm not joking. I'm very much a how will I describe it? Open source, almost fanatic. Um, so yeah, the current website is up here. Oh, thank you for that, Evan. You can see the history of it here, um, packaged up, whatnot, and starter pipelines on it. Um, and there is actually going to be another task. Like, I haven't actually set it up yet, but you see how this is different age periods? Um, there is actually a undersite, because 2009 one, which is, I think it's 2016. This is the Skynet site that I first saw when I joined back in 2012 or so. Nice enough site. It got the refresh into what you see now, but there's an actual even older site from before this, and someone really should recover it from Internet Archive, Wayback Machine. Have some of the files locally, but someone needs to sit down and actually cleaning them up, organize it, and just make it work. That's another task that may be there if anyone wants to take a look at that. And I'm kind of running out of things to say. So, Pine and Samir, any thoughts? Same with you, Dara, and JJ, and Zombix, assuming you're here as well. Anyone here? Oh, yeah, he was. He was at the SkyCon. Yeah, Skynet used to own the conference. Yeah. Of course, I being an idiot, I decided not to go that year. It was the last year's run. Yeah, and this is probably another site. Yeah, that is the really own site. So, there's actually an even older site. If you... Oh, yeah. Oh, it gets better. Uh, uh, no, that's it. Yeah, so, yeah, in case you're wondering, I have got a folder here, which was an archive of various parts of it. You can see that it's kind of half broken, but you can see the rough idea. Powered by sun. Yeah, it's not bad looking, even if it's images fading. Um, but yeah, I think all the images are still here. There's a pile of things in it. The Encyclopedia, I think. What was this? Oh yeah, so that's the second generation, I think. Sky Putty was actually a putty client with Skynet logo in it. So yeah, we have some archives that were reasonable. You can see that someone did somewhat copy stuff down from Internet Archive, but again, it's not so many archives, so nestled deep. What was in TARDIS again? TARDIS was nothing. You can probably see why I went slightly insane at various times. Oh yeah. I don't know why this one was called Central America. Yeah, and here, what else was interesting? Mail? No, that was not the right one. Projects? Oh yeah, this is what it looked like. Better. Some of the images working here. You can see Sharky there, still in Sharky that time. Better images, things look better. For its time, I think that was up to what, 2009, I think, or maybe a tad earlier. Not bad actually. So, oh, Starman Talk Founder. You want to see the Starman Talk Founder? Oh, where is Starman Talk? Richard Stallman came and gave a talk to yeah. Yeah, that was what, 2 years ago? Wait, what the fuck? Touching the fans. By the looks of it, yeah. Yeah, after it. Anyway, there's an entire presentation of it. Mm. Yeah. Yeah, it's there's a lot of own stuff to be sorted out and resurrected. To go back to stuff, in the website folder there is the alumni renew and games.skynet.ie. One person here actually found the games one a day or two after I had created it. Yeah, so this is the games. This used to be games was just Minecraft. The plan is to have more than just Minecraft. So if anyone wants to work on more than just Minecraft, feel free to go ahead. We do have the map up on it, and you can see that someone did make the logo. Again, this is kind of on this. No, I'm not sure. We kind of need someone to be admin for it. This is foundation building, as you can see. Ski slopes. Yeah, it's Okay. Okay. Ski slopes. Yeah, the main building is not complete. It's kind of missing half of it. You can, it was never finished. People get lost in the abyss. And then this is just ceases. Yeah, yeah. Again, it'd be great to have admin or someone in charge of this that I can offload because I know next to nothing about Minecraft. Uh, oh yeah, do you know this, Milan? Yeah, no. Um, nope, it's tad more personal than that. It was Sebastian's. Seb- no, it's Sebastian. No, it's Sebastian. He made it. Yeah. Um, Eve was very much. This server has to be preserved. Yeah. Yeah. For context, Sebastian is the guy that has the committee role, but you will probably not have heard of him. He's dead, unfortunately. Uh, yeah. He was the person who had the IT officer before me and far, far better than I am. Ah, anyways, uh, we have castles. That is actually a good real roller coaster. Really fun. There's a pile of other stuff. I think there's nether and other stuff as well. Um, but yeah, it's whitelisted, so someone kind of needs to be in charge of that. Oh, great. We have Zombex for that, which is fantastic. I can begin to offload stuff. Oh, wait, what is this? Underwater. Underwater pirate ship? Not a giant turd. Uh, oh, okay, I get it. I'm not. I don't think it has a Discord audio, so anyone who's watching on YouTube may be missing out on stuff. Um, enough. Uh, yeah. The other site that I've kind of recovered is this one, which was the renew one for the alumni, which actually has use already. So basically, when you graduate, you can actually still retain access to all the Skynet stuff. It's 40 for 5 years or so only slightly more expensive than a current member. Uh, and come back to you in a few minutes, Eliza. Yeah, it's Eliza. Feck. I keep forgetting names. So yeah, there's this website, but there are other ones that need to be found out, recovered and found out. Um, Skynet 2.0 didn't have any source control, or rather, it kind of did. It was SVN. Does anyone know what SVN is or was? SCN, I think. Yeah, subversion. It's basically what was there before Git, and it's part of why Git was created. Did you use it, Pine? Yeah, it's not the best, but they actually did have it for a while in some things, and um, oh yeah, the other thing is that you can actually pop in your CV once you've worked on Skynet is you're now DevOps in big glittery letters. Yeah, it's useful in terms like Um, like, at its core, the cluster is to help students move forward in everything. So, to train you up on new stuff, to experiment out with new stuff, like Nix technically is not stable, it's experimental in some ways. You wouldn't really have it too much in production yet, but it may get there in time because of its useful properties. The fact that it is deterministic, the fact that it's fully source controlled, the fact that you can have infrastructure as code essentially makes things really nice. Um, it's not quite Terraform, but it's still good enough. Um, but yeah, it's a train, get ye practical experience essentially in managing this stuff, and then it's also to get the other members useful tools to improve their lives, like the GitLab server. The goal on Wednesday is to get people using Git, started on Git. Uh, yeah, yeah, to get people a leg up. Um, yeah, the goal is just to get people better tools, essentially. Say something, Pine? No worries. If you need to pull on me for that, fire away. I'll be there on campus from about 8 on Wednesday, 8 a.m. Uh, oh yeah, and if any of you want to pop into the server room on Wednesday, feel free to do so. I should be anytime for about midday on. I have a stand-up session from like half 11 to about 12, half 12. No, go in, meet the team online, and say what I've got done, what I plan to do, what issues I have, that sort of thing. It's good. It's agile methodology. Do you do that as well, Milan? Agile, stand up. Yeah, it's kind of standard practice now, kind of. So, I'm gonna probably close out the video. Is there any other questions and whatnot? So yeah, if anyone wants to take on any kind of projects or tickets or issues, just ask. Feel free to take away. Um, the ones that are labeled with, I think it's, yeah, trainee, feel free to go for them. They're, oh yeah, this is another thing. Um, so remember how I mentioned that there's like an API that manages the NDAP stuff? Um, and you've actually come across this. Yeah, you've done some work on this, Dara. Um, so basically, the Minecraft server has an API itself, and we could be able to integrate it with the Discord bot, and that people, because the Discord bot knows who is a verified member, and so uh, well, it'd be more that you can, in the bot, you just do like a slash Minecraft and it just adds your username. Uh, because then you can probably, it would be possible then to call on the API and then add someone to the whitelist automatically. And the same would be when they are no longer a member, they're removed from the whitelist. That sort of thing. So if anyone wants to take that on as a task, feel free to do so, though that is not a small one. You'll be writing a API server that has like a few HTTP methods that it can do. It will be integrating further with the Minecraft server and taking requests from the Discord part. So if anyone wants to take a look at that, I can probably mentor you. You can use any language you want, as long as it's packaged up, it'll be fine. Again, that's the nice thing about Nix, is that you can package things far better than Docker. So yeah, if there's no more questions, I'm gonna end up the recording part anyway, as I probably should have had it stopped a while ago. Yeah.